History of Nagasaki. The atomic bombing in World War II. On August 9, 1945, Nagasaki became the second city in the world to be devastated by an atomic bomb. Towards the end of World War II, the United States decided to use nuclear weapons to hasten Japan's surrender and bring the war to a swift conclusion. The bomb, nicknamed Fat Man, was dropped on Nagasaki, resulting in massive destruction. Approximately 40,000 to 75,000 people were killed instantly, with many more dying later from the effects of radiation. Nagasaki was chosen as a secondary target due to unfavorable weather conditions over the primary target, Kokura. The atomic bombing caused extensive physical and psychological damage to the city and its inhabitants. Post-war reconstruction. After the war, Nagasaki became a symbol of peace and anti-nuclear advocacy. The city established memorials and museums to commemorate the event and spread the message of peace to future generations. Samurai Wars. While Nagasaki itself was not a central battlefield for samurai wars, it played a significant role during the Edo period 1603 to 1868 in terms of trade and foreign relations. The city was pivotal in Japan's interactions with the outside world, particularly through trade with the Portuguese and later the Dutch. The legend of the female samurai in Nagasaki. In the historic town of Nagasaki, there is an old hotel known for its eerie atmosphere and mysterious occurrences. Among the many tales that surround this place, the story of the female samurai ghost is one that both locals and tourists often recount with a mix of fear and fascination. The legend speaks of Lady Akiko, a skilled female samurai from a noble family. Akiko was renowned for her bravery and exceptional swordsmanship. Her family, once powerful and respected, fell victim to a treacherous betrayal. The entire family was slaughtered, but Akiko survived, wounded and vowing vengeance. Donning a black kimono as a symbol of her mourning and resolve, Akiko set out to avenge her loved ones. She hunted down each of her enemies with unwavering determination, her skills leaving none of them alive. However, her quest for revenge ultimately led to her tragic demise in a fierce battle. It is said that her spirit, filled with unresolved anguish and a fierce sense of justice, still haunts the old hotel where she once stayed during her quest. Guests who have stayed in the hotel recount chilling experiences, particularly in the room where she is believed to have spent her last night. One such account comes from a tourist named Sarah, who visited Nagasaki with her friends. Sarah shared her story with an online travel forum. We arrived in Nagasaki late in the evening and checked into this beautiful, yet strangely somber, old hotel. The staff was friendly, but seemed a bit reserved. When we mentioned our room number, we didn't think much of it at the time. That night, after a long day of sightseeing, we settled into our room. It was spacious and decorated in a traditional style, with sliding shoji doors and tatami mats. As we were unpacking, I felt an inexplicable chill, like someone was watching us. My friends brushed it off as jet lag and fatigue, so tried to ignore it. Around midnight, I woke up to the sound of soft footsteps and the faint clinking of metal, like a sword being drawn. I sat up, heart pounding, and saw a figure in a black kimono standing near the window. Her face was partially obscured by her long, dark hair, but her presence was unmistakably eerie. I tried to wake my friends, but they seemed to be in a deep sleep, completely unaware of the figure. The woman slowly turned towards me, her eyes filled with sorrow and a silent plea for help. I was frozen with fear, unable to move or speak. After what felt like an eternity, she simply vanished, leaving behind an oppressive silence. The next morning, I told the hotel staff about my experience. They exchanged knowing glances and revealed that many guests had reported similar sightings. They believed that Lady Akiko's spirit still roams the hotel, seeking justice and peace for her untimely end. Sarah's encounter is just one of many that have been shared by those who have stayed at the hotel. Whether a believer in ghosts or a skeptic, the legend of the female samurai in Nagasaki adds a hauntingly fascinating layer to the rich tapestry of the town's history. The Haunting of Nagasaki, the ghostly hotel. In the historic city of Nagasaki, renowned for its beautiful landscapes and deep cultural heritage, lies a hotel with a chilling reputation. Known for its old-world charm and traditional architecture, the hotel has also gained notoriety among tourists for the eerie experiences reported by its guests. It was during the autumn of 2023 when a group of friends Emma, Jack, and Lisa decided to visit Nagasaki. They were excited to explore the city's rich history and picturesque scenery. As part of their trip, they booked a stay at the Hotel Kageyama, an elegant establishment that had been a part of Nagasaki's landscape for over a century. From the moment they arrived, there was an unsettling atmosphere about the hotel. The staff, although polite, seemed unusually reserved when discussing the history of the building. They brushed off the oddities with vague smiles and hurried explanations. The friends, though curious, shrugged off the strange behavior and went on with their plans. Their first night at the hotel was uneventful, but things took a sinister turn on the second night. After a day of sightseeing, the friends retired to their rooms. Emma, who had always been sensitive to paranormal occurrences, couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. She noticed that her room was unusually cold, despite the weather being mild outside. As she was about to drift off to sleep, she heard faint whispers coming from the hallway. The whispers grew louder, sounding like someone was moving around in the corridor. Emma decided to investigate, stepping out of her room and walking down the dimly lit hallway. The air felt heavy, and a chill ran down her spine. As she reached the end of the corridor, she saw a shadowy figure standing near the end of the hall. The figure was dressed in what appeared to be an old-fashioned kimono, with long hair obscuring its face. Emma froze in fear, her breath catching in her throat. The figure turned slowly and began to move toward her, its presence exuding an aura of sorrow and malice. Emma quickly returned to her room, locking the door behind her. She tried to wake Jack and Lisa, but they were fast asleep, oblivious to the terror that had just unfolded. Unable to sleep, Emma spent the rest of the night wide awake, listening to the eerie whispers and distant footsteps echoing through the hotel. The next morning, Emma shared her experience with Jack and Lisa, who were skeptical but agreed to stay vigilant. That night, they decided to stay together in Emma's room, hoping to avoid any further disturbances. Their plans were interrupted around midnight when a loud knock echoed through the door. Startled, Emma opened it to find the hotel manager standing there with a concerned look. He explained that there had been reports of strange occurrences in that particular room for years, but they had never been able to explain them. He advised them to stay away from the corridors after dark. Despite the warning, the friends couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Throughout the rest of their stay, they experienced a series of unsettling phenomena: cold spots, whispers in the night, and the feeling of an unseen presence brushing past them. On their final night, as they packed to leave, Lisa discovered an old photograph tucked inside a drawer. The photo showed a group of people from the early 1900s, with one woman standing prominently in the center. She was dressed in a traditional kimono, with a sorrowful expression on her face. Lisa realized with a shock that the woman in the photo resembled the figure Emma had seen in the hallway. They later learned from a local historian that the woman in the photograph was a former guest of the hotel who had died under mysterious circumstances. Her spirit was said to haunt the hotel, seeking closure for the tragic events of her past. As the friends left Nagasaki, they couldn't shake the feeling that they had encountered something truly supernatural. The Hotel Kageyama remained a place of fascination and fear for those who dared to stay there, a chilling reminder of the ghosts that linger in the shadows of history. If you enjoyed today's story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, Mystical Tales, so you won't miss out on more eerie and thrilling tales in the future. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.